All right, guys. So it is officially confirmed as of today that Hikari, I was going to say Sagan, Hikari Shinomiya will be coming to the game. I wanted to kind of talk about this because I think that this is particularly not the best decision. Now, don't hear what I'm not saying. I actually really am excited about her coming to the game in general. I can't wait to see her out there. I hope she's dual element. She's probably going to be slash type, of course, because her axe, that's the standard, right? But what about like slash wind, slash lightning? Probably wind is the safest bet. I would be actually, frankly, I would be disappointed if they don't put something else on there because they keep on doing that where it's like, dude, where's the duels? Like, bring more duels in. They don't bring duels in. We have isao, pure blood. Where the hell's the lightning? Everyone's been asking for lightning for forever. Where the hell's the lightning? Not there. They're clearly saving that for another isao down the road. Anyway, we get Ashiro with Bako. It's like, okay, fine. That's understandable. But still, there could have been like fire on there because she makes them blow up or something. You know, they could have done something if they wanted to. But yeah, I would think this is interesting. Which, by the way, if she is a dual trait character like that, with especially with one like Wind that's not been represented yet, then that means that she would become a character that is very high value. And the reason why is because over time, they will slowly introduce more and more stages that will incorporate wind enemy plates. And at that point, you would have to build, who is it? It's not Ihiru, he's lightning, right? It's forget his name. There's one of those characters that's got wind on him, and you would have to build that character, just like Kota, just like Sagan, Kota or Tei, just for in case you didn't have Reno or Sagan, she would be in a similar situation, right? So that could be interesting, and it would make her a really good character. Now, here's the deal, though. She may wind up being a skip otherwise, and it's not because she's not cool. Frankly, it's cool that we're getting another version of this character, or a version of a new character, as opposed to a character like Isao we've already got a version of. Like, give me some new stuff. And she's a cool character, by the way. In terms of like design here, we don't really see a ton of her in the series. Of course, it's a short series. Frankly, we don't see a ton of a lot of characters, but she is definitely one of the characters we don't see much of. But I think they did a great job here. She looks really good in the game. Anyway. It's cool to see a character like that get incorporated and being used in this way. But she may be a skip because while there has not been any sort of rhythm established to when things release in this game, for example, I'm hoping we get to a point like you can with a lot of gacha games where it's like every middle of the month we get a Legends Festival. Or not Legends Festival, but just a festival, right? Thinking of Dragon Ball Legends for some weird reason. Anyway. Every middle of the month, we'll get a festival. And then every first of the month, we'll get a limited character or something like that. There hasn't been any sort of established rhythm yet. It kind of looks like it, but then they shake it up. So I don't know. For example, this is actually 4 consecutive gachas in like 5 weeks. Like, seriously. Like, in the span of like 5 weeks, this is like 4 gachas, right? It goes back to Gen. Then it goes to Ashiro. Then it goes to Isao. And now we're going to be here with Hikari as well. That's a lot of gachas, man. And I keep on saying that they're doing a great job of adding in more content, but it doesn't matter so much, even if that's true. It is absolutely true. They're adding more and more and more and more ways to pull and more and more and more and more ways to get resources. It's literally true. However, it doesn't matter when your pity is so high at, 350, 250, 250. At that number instead of a standard, 50-50, whatever that a lot of these new style games have over the last few years since Hoyo. Anyway, it doesn't matter so much when your number is that high, right? And you're releasing banners this quickly, right? And obviously, free players shouldn't expect to pull on everything and get every single thing all the time. That's not really how any of these games work. But I think you should be able to feel good about it. And there are some perks to it. The fact that the pity, it stays there. It doesn't go away. The characters get added there. The banners last for quite a while. You can choose a character like Gen, I think just left like a week ago. Like he was up there for a few weeks. Like there are some perks to it, but it just doesn't compare in general for most players in terms of like what they would like to see. And I think that's where they're kind of shooting themselves in the foot, right? Like I think that all these releases, it's just doing more harm than good. And again, I'm excited about her coming in general, but let me know what you guys think. I want to see what the replies are. Slowly the game is becoming boring. I guess it just kind of depends. One thing I've got to say with this game, I don't think a lot of people treat it the right way in that this is very clearly not a game that's trying to be your main game. You can tell a game that's trying to be your main game by the content that they put out. They'll put a lot of content that requires you to spend hours on the game and things like that. And they will put out multiple forms of like, for example, Solo Leveling Arise, game I have a lot of history with on this channel. It's got a bunch of long-standing modes where it's like, we want you to spend a lot of time on this game. We want this to be the game you're playing all the time. Some games, and this is one of these, some games are okay being your side game. Some games are okay not being your main game, which is why I think people kind of get a little bit confused with this game. They want it to be a main game, but it's clearly not designed to be that. It's designed to be a quick hitter, get in, do what you need to do, get out type game, right? And so you get a quick dopamine rush from whatever content they added or whatever summon you're doing, but it's not ever going to be, at least not anyway at this point, it's not going to be your game you're going to spend hours on at a time. And they'll update every couple of weeks like any other game, and they'll add a handful of things like any other game. But you could also sit there for like 3 hours and complete it all. And then you're kind of left with nothing to do. So I think that boring specifically is subjective because it depends on your work style, your lifestyle, and how much free time you have. For example, for me, I always see comments like, oh, I play X other game and they're better than this. Blah, blah, blah. Why can't you play both? The only other reason I could see you not being able to play both is if you don't have the storage space. Now, obviously, you may just flat out not want to play both. But that's not a game problem. That's a you problem. In my opinion, anyway. My opinion. I play like 5 games. So I don't frankly mind, if I'm being honest with you, that I don't have to spend all day on this game. I don't really mind. I genuinely don't. So that's my own 2 cents on that. If Hikari's coming, maybe add number 4 to identification also. I think it's Prestator type, but the spot 2 / attribute an attacker for sure. Yeah, I don't really know. Translations are wonky, but another attacker. We got so many attackers. It is what it is. Next gacha is coming so soon. I won't catch up with the training. I assume he means farming. Yeah, that's normal. In this case, there's just too many gachas consecutively. Please, come on, Mom, get here soon. Nobody's mom voice. But Mom's not here now, right? It's a limited time thing anyway, so I wanted it to come at year's end. Oh, okay. So this person wanted it to be towards the end of the year. This gacha will be gone by the time, like a month from now. This gacha will be gone, of course, and she'll be in there for exchange probably up until the end of the year. Maybe around the 20-something, around Christmas time would be when she expires, probably in that range. But by that point, you probably know who the next characters are. So if the mother of Shinonome comes, can we form a team in the Shinonome family? I guess. These are different families, but I guess. Hikari, this is not coming. So the Japanese side doesn't really have too many things to say about it. I did read quotes, and surprisingly, a lot of the quotes were actually very pro this release. They were really cool with it. They really actually were really excited when I read through a lot of the quote tweets on this. They were not really all that upset about it. Which is cool. That is absolutely cool. Like I do think on the surface, like I said, it's a cool thing that she's coming. I don't really have a problem with the fact that she's coming. It's more or less, again, the order of releases. Now, what about the English-speaking player base and what they have to say about it? Actually, they haven't put that coming soon. Oh, there it is. I scrolled past. I didn't see it. All right, let's see what they have to say. So that was me. Follow me on Twitter. I said, oh boy. I was hoping for Kikaru number 4, but I guess this is close. Yeah. Kikaru's mother. I've been saving my pity points for this. Tickets coming soon. I'm ready with my 14,000 crystals. Don't care. Pulls are going to get wild. I didn't pull her husband yet. I don't care. Just to get Soshiro Hoshina United Front and Exchange Shop. Oh, this person wants to get that's number 10, right? This person wants to get number 10. Please stop adding characters and self-useful ways to get characters, crystals to pull them. Add more endgame content. Man, people are complaining about the endgame content. That's kind of where it's like, you kind of can't make everybody happy, dude. It just kind of is what it is. But people are mad that some of the stages are harder now. I've been wanting Kikaru in the weapon suit, but fine, I guess. Pulls on me? Oh, yeah. So I was right. Dead mom before number 4. That's not really surprising, is it? That's not really surprising. In fact, that's normal. That makes sense. And the laughing, crying emoji, I don't get it. I don't really see why this is surprising. This is, I mean, they could have done whatever they wanted, but that is fine. I don't really see a problem with it personally. She's the first one to wear that suit. It makes sense, right? At least to me. Anyway, somebody said re-roll Sagan with her. Yeah, they should absolutely bring back Sagan for this. Sorry, my recorder was tripping. They should absolutely bring back Sagan for this release. Make her wind element wind. Please make it possible for us to upgrade the stats when we get to max level. I don't know if I want another progression path right now. Been waiting ages for her. Another banner. OMG, they release new banners every week. They have been, right? Like I said. And this is not, I've always called them on their BS. The first month, I thought it was very bad how they were dropping all those gachas. But then I said, oh, month 2, perfect. They slowed down. Great, because the anime collaborations are done and all that stuff, and all of a sudden they got more space. Now month 3, it's like, here's this, here's that, here's this, here's that, and it's like, bro, slow the freak down. And you know what's gonna happen? Yeah, I can already tell you what's gonna happen. For month 4 of this game, they're gonna slow down. They're gonna drop 2 characters next month. Okay, maybe there's a double release, but there's gonna be 2 separate updates featuring gachas. This is what I'll say. There's gonna be one mid-month. Hear me, mid-month. So 2 or 3 weeks from now, mid-month. Right? And then they're going to sit on that one until mid-20s. Around, like a couple days before Christmas, bro. I'd have to pull up the calendar, but I'm sure there's like a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday that lines up just a couple days before Christmas. I would imagine, because that's half the week, right? And watch Christmas be on one of those days, and then that means they have to do it a week earlier. I digress. So that's what they're going to do, right? They're going to do something like that. And the midweek one is very important. The midweek one, here's the funny thing with that. Or the mid-month one, that comes out before the end of the month one. That one's going to be very important because that one could be a big ticket character. For example, people want Kikaru, number 4. I bet she was the second most voted character in their poll that gave us an army a few weeks ago. She may drop right there. And you know why? Because people want her. And that means that they're going to drop something hype for New Year, right? Christmas/New Year. Oh man. Now she could also get pushed to that release window too, and they may not try to screw you. But a lot of times games try to drop something hype before a celebration to get you to pull, to get you to succumb to FOMO, fear of missing out on that character, of course, if you don't know what it means. And they will drop something hype there in that window before following something with that is extra hype, like right after that. And so that I think is on the table. Really, if you want to be safe, we're in the save everything territory. The good thing is that like they drop all these gotchas, man, but these characters, their banners don't go away. Like Isao's probably got another 2 weeks, right? Like they don't go away like in a week. Do something about Unipart roll rates, otherwise this game would die soon. I'm happy somebody thinks that Uniparts would be the reason this game dies and not the gotchas. To all free to play, please skip her and every single banner from now because February. Oh, that's another thing. Half anniversary is in February. 6-month anniversary. Yeesh. That could be crazy. Kikaru will come out. I don't know if it'd be Kikaru, but there's something there. There is something there for sure for the 6-month anniversary. But I think you have time to sit on, like, if you were to pull for New Year's, I think 2 months time is so at the current pace they're going, especially if they keep on ramping it up. I think 2 months time is sufficient. I mean, for example, I have my little list here. I haven't finished it off yet. There was 1, 2, and then the shop refreshes. So that's 6 multis, 7 multis, 8, 9, 10 multis. There's probably 11 multis from the things that I've logged here. And I haven't logged the story fully yet, but there's probably about 11 multis from the things I've logged here in the last 2 weeks. See, that's where, like I said, they're doing a good job, but people just don't know it because they're getting all their summons and just sitting on it, right? Or just pulling them, and not sitting on it. But yeah, I'm not even joking. That's not random. That's not BS. I've been tracking it. There's about 11 multis, at least, that have been added since the Ashuro update. So I think if they keep that pace, in about a month and a half, you should have enough to go to pity on a gacha. If you were to pull, and you may already have like a head start on the pity, maybe you get the characters, so like you could pull for New Year and then save for 6-month anniversary. But yeah, I'll start telling people after that, like when we start hitting New Year, I'll start telling people, maybe you want to save, man. You may want to save. So just checking to see if my recorder is still up and going, but mostly everything is pretty tame. The comment, see, like, one thing I would say about this, really quick before we get out of here, did I see somebody saying, wait, where did it go? Okay, never mind, I read something else, never mind, I'm not going to say it. One thing I will say about this is that I know that people are upset about this. Like I said, I've already said my piece. Like, I don't really love the release schedule, but I'm excited for the character. This gif is crazy. Um, but the thing is that all this social interaction and stuff, these are the people that like are mostly, even you guys watching my video, are the people that are mostly engaged with these games and care more about this type of stuff. Like, look, everybody's not even mad about this. Nobody's even complaining about this. Um, but the thing with that is that everyone is super. We're in like this. I can't think of the word. I don't want to say like an echo chamber, but we're a very small minority of the player base. Even if it's not the most biggest game out there, we're still a very small minority. And the general sentiment from everyone else I see and everyone I talk to about the game is mostly fine, except for the preconceived notions of the game, which I've talked about in the other video. But I think mostly it's doing fine. I never did this video. I've been meaning to, but they put this out saying the game made $6.5 million, I believe, in September. That number has gone down. However, if that number stabilizes around 1.5 million or so, the game is going to have a very long lifespan. If that number stabilizes as a consistent monthly 1.5 million worldwide, that the game will have a good lifespan. Why? Because that's more than enough for them to keep the game open worldwide. And it's not one of those situations where, typically nowadays, it's not one of those situations where, I guess it broke finally, huh? Okay, let me fix that. It's not typically one of those situations where, the game is performing great overseas, but it's not in this other region, right? But that's not exactly the case, right? Freaking Nikki blew it out the water as expected, to nobody's surprise, right? But 1 billion yen. But typically nowadays, when a game performs well in like Japan, and it's well enough to cover all their costs, they look at the overseas version, global version, whatever, as just extra money because they don't have any extra expenses. It's just translation. That's it, right? So I think if this game can normalize around 1.5 million, then that will be fine. The thing with this game is that they incurred a lot of debt from Tribe 9. See, this is why like people talk about Tribe 9 but don't really understand what happened there, and I had to do a lot of research. Tribe 9 was such a colossal failure for them. It didn't even come close to these numbers either. It made like 800,000 like for its best month ever. So it didn't even come close. But it was such a colossal failure that they had to pull the plug on it so quickly. And they diverted resources here. And mostly another reason why this game is going to be fine is because they put all their eggs in one basket. They do have other projects like Dokkan, but they're not publishing those. It's totally different. They're getting a portion of the money as opposed to most of the money, if that makes sense, by developing and publishing. So I'm not so worried about this, but I do wonder if like the money hungry tactics of like constantly releasing gachas, you're just going to tire people out. You're going to tire people out. And if you're going to do this, I said they added like 11 multis in the last few weeks. Again, that's truthful. They need to add like 20 in that same time span if you're going to do this. Like seriously, it needs to be damn near double. This is not enough for most people. With the context that, again, most people shouldn't be pulling on everything if they can't afford it. It is what it is. So, or if they choose not to support financially, that's fine too. Anyway, hopefully you enjoyed this video. Hikari is coming out. I'll be doing polls for her. Hopefully you enjoy. Not too many, if I'm being honest with you. I may do a handful just to see if I could get her weapon, but I'm just going to pity her. I had such bad pulls with isao that I got the pity. Damn, I'm like 6 multis away from pitying her and the weapon, if I'm being honest. So I may just do that and see what happens. And then if I have to, I'll do pulls first. Just because I plan on doing it anyway. With Narumi, I didn't do pulls. I just pulled him straight from the pity shop. So anyway, I'll see you all for that update, of course. And take it easy.